back. We got a few topics on the docket here, Glenn. First of all, this is like Prince. Remember when Prince changed his name to the symbol?
Yeah,
I think we have a name change that you're looking to announce.
he's also the artist, remember. And as we speak, in production, we have the Armchair Quarterback, which is going to be a show I'm going to be doing once the season starts, once the football season starts.
So
A tribute to my
what are you trying to
a
say?
tribute to my father, a tribute to my father who couldn't pronounce the word the letter R. So Armchair being AAM. Also, I'm going to be doing the show in the early AM before any of these, you know, so-called morning show hosts, these morning zoos, these great, uh, AM sports drive morning shows. They all suck. They all suck.
Well,
And
I agree
I'm gonna,
with.
yeah, I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna come on anywhere between 3:30 and 4, and I'm gonna, you know me, I'm up all night watching the European and the Asian markets open and seeing which way the stock market's gonna roll. Also, getting any pre-news for the day, and I'm gonna introduce most people who get up and go to work as we get out of this COVID. I'm gonna give a little intro, and all you're gonna have to do is pop on a little Google, maybe turn your Facebook page on, and hear the morning's news. You're going to get weather, you're going to get times, you're going to get updates, you're going to get sports, you're going to get what Kim Jong-un ate for the day.
Well, we're
You're
gonna
going to get all kinds of things.
well, don't give that away yet, because we're gonna talk about that.
But simply that the Armchair Quarterback is coming back from, again, I was born in Massachusetts. Armchair is AAMCHAR QB, Armchair Quarterback. And a little twang there for my father, because he didn't pronounce his R's. But I'm also going to be going over just simply the daily important things. So it's going to be mostly sports, but it's like right now there's nothing going on in sports except the sales of jerseys. But other than that, we're going to go over the important issues of the day, especially during the COVID.
Well, the one important issue of the day I want to get into is former Cy Young pitcher, Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell of the Tampa Bay Rays came out, I believe it was this morning or late yesterday, said that if they're going to take any more of his money, more than half the season, which they're trying to, what the MLB is going to do, he's not going to play because I guess the owners want to take another 25%. Because there's going to be no ticket sales, no fans in the stands, and then with the taxes, and Blake Snell's like, you know what, my life and health is not worth what they would pay me. I looked in, I think he was due to make $7 million, so we're looking at 3.5 minus a quarter of that, which is what, about 900,000. So it takes you like the 2.6, and I guess he gets taxed, and you would know this as a former athlete. What, you get taxed off the top?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. I'm looking at Snell's contract. Now, remember, we're talking about baseball. There could be 19 COVIDs in a row every year. You have a lawsuit. You're gonna have a lawsuit by every one of these guys against Major League Baseball. I don't know. Again, what's the small print say? Elon Musk, the smartest man, one of the smartest men in the world. He has a ship that retrieves his rockets once he launches them. It's called Just Read the Instructions. So any lawyer on the planet, most lawyers are really stupid. Most lawyers are really dumb. All you got to do, because most people won't read instructions. Once you read the instructions, everything kind of sorts itself out. And if you read his instructions, Snell, he's going to make $7 million, $7 million this year, 10, 5 next year.
I think his contract is for $7 million, and
right. So, sure. Okay. So he suffers and he makes 2.5.
Well,
where? Okay. And then next year when we get a vaccine, he's going to make 10.5. Okay, with a $600,000 signing bonus. And then the following year, when there's maybe another pandemic, plus we'll probably find another cure, he's going to make 12.5, and then at 2023, he's going to make 16 million. So he can cry all he wants. You know what he has to do, though, is look back and look at the guys who are in the minor leagues, The guys that are struggling, the 5, 6, 7-year minor league guys that are making minimum salaries, 100,000 a year, going on buses, while this a-hole is going to complain that he's going to make $3 million instead of $7 million. All the while, he's guaranteed $30 million over the next 3 years after the COVID goes away. So you know what? What's his name? Blake Snell?
Yeah. Heck of a
Go
pitcher.
fuck yourself, you asshole. Dumbass.
That's why we have you
stupid
around
shit.
here.
What an idiot. What an idiot. It's dumb. Baseball's dumb. If it was football, I understand football players get upset because this is, if the NFL decides not to pay them, they don't get paid. And the NFL could just shut down for a while and not pay them, but except for the guaranteed money. All basketball, all baseball, all hockey is guaranteed money. Football's starting to get into guaranteed money, which is nice. But Blake Snell, shut your ass.
Well, he may be afraid that they may keep him in for 80 pitches. This year may hurt his arm or something.
I know they may actually make him throw 14 pitches in the preseason warm-up game. But no, the baseball players need to shut their mouths because they're talking with guaranteed money. Ultimately, they're getting a year of health. This is what I'm saying. For a lot of these guys, a lot of these younger guys in their prime in these sports, a year off isn't the worst thing if you have guaranteed money. The NFL guys, the guys that go paycheck to paycheck, even though they're making $2-3 million a year, which is a lot of guys, they need to get their checks. So we talked about that's how the NFL was going to go go to the games at your own risk, which is coming. We saw the lawyers; they're lawyering up now to make sure that the season goes on. They may not make as much revenue at the games, but the TV money is going to be outrageous.
And especially when player contracts and whatnot. I didn't see the interview, but yesterday I was watching Colin Cowherd. I the volume down. I saw Scott Boras is on. So when he's around, that's never a good sign. When Scott Boras is in there talking shop.
That means he's not getting paid.
Real quickly, the Los Angeles Rams, I saw they're a little pissed off about having to play a Thursday night game at home because they won't have the advantage because the Cowboys would already be in L.A. waiting for them, and so they wouldn't have the normal advantage that most home teams on Thursday nights have. What's that all about?
You know what that's about? That Sean McVay is a fraud. He's an absolute fraud. Sean McVay, he got Coach of the Year, and he got it stolen because, in my opinion, because he's got the hottest. I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, but she's smoking hot.
I think she's Ukrainian.
She's the reason. She's the reason he got. She's the reason he got the Coach of the Year over Doug Peterson. Peterson deserved it. Peterson beat him on the road that year, and Peterson won the Super Bowl. So McVay is one of these hot coaches that are coming out, and guess what? He's 8-8. So McVay, his tenure, his hot. The hot commodity that was Sean McVay, lump him in with Jason Garrett and all the other 8-8 coaches that have never won a playoff game.
And just to pile on the Rams, Eric Dickerson came out. Did you see the Rams' new uniforms?
Yeah, someone said it looked like a penis. I don't see the.
Well,
penis.
Eric Dickerson said they look like bananas on the side that makes the Rams look soft.
Yeah, you know what? Just go out. If you go out and your offensive line and defensive line kicks the other team's ass, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. The powder blue, although the Chargers have really never won anything, but Dan Fouts is pretty dominant in the powder.
I got a question from a great sports guy, one of the most knowledgeable, if not the most knowledgeable sports guys I know. A guy named Lee Groves, good guy working in boxing out of West Virginia. He goes, what are your thoughts on pumping the fake crowd noise on the NFL broadcast? To me, it's insulting to the viewer's intelligence. Yeah, did you hear Fox might do that?
Pumping noise?
Yeah, because there's going to be no crowds in the stands.
You know what? Yeah, you know what I like better? I liked it remember when they did the experiment with no announcers? Yeah. That's what I thought was a great idea. I think no announcers. That way you get no criticism.
Well,
and then
I think you turn on. I think you have to have announcers though with no crowd in there.
No, the problem is if you could turn on, like, if you're an Eagles fan and you could turn on Merrill and get the radio. The problem is you get the timings off, so you'll get like the play happening and then Merrill Reese announcing it later. But if you can time up the radio, the local radio announcers with the TV. you got yourself an item. Which, because me and you were sitting here and God willing, we're not stuttering, staggering, stopping, freezing, any of that. The technology as it gets better. It was funny thing was when Harry Callis was on his way out, he was passing away. It was sad, but he never treated my brother that well at the NFL films. I always said you could dub in his voice computer wise, after he was dead, and he could still announce for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So you can say, "Gone 3-1, pitch out of here," but it's all on tape. You know what I mean? So, but no, I mean, the announcers are so. No matter what, with Twitter, with Facebook, and all this other stuff, doesn't matter who's announcing, they're gonna suck.
I wanted to segue.
Although Tony Romo unanimously is the best in the business and getting paid likewise. Romo sees it like a quarterback, and he's great at articulating it.
Speaking of Romo, right now, if you had to go out there right now, 18 holes, who wins, you or Romo?
Right now,
no strokes
Romo.
either.
Well, put it this way, in our prime, in Romo's prime and in my prime, I got to give Romo like 5 aside, which means I would crush him. I would never scalp him over the gallery on the 18th hole at Pebble Beach, put it that way.
Well, we want to go off of sports for a second here. I mean, you've been begging me to talk about this topic for about 2 weeks now, ever since the possibly exaggerated reports of his demise.
The resurfacing.
They were resurfacing today because they fired like half of his upper cabinet today. But you dove into the eating habits of one Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. I was first fascinated with the attractiveness of his sister, of course, because she's very attractive. She's Asian. Asians, for some reason, love redheads, which is always fascinating to me. But yeah, I was fascinated first with Kim Jong-un's sister. Okay, I don't know. It's like her name's like Bong or something.
Who she plays her cards right? If the brother's dead, she may be the king of North Korea right now.
No. But here's the kicker. She looks like she's nothing but vegetables. He probably only feeds her vegetables. But if you ever watched Kim Jong-un sweats like 24 hours a day, and he's always got a cigarette, okay? For some reason, people overseas don't believe in our Surgeon General. They think that like birth defects and pregnant women are allowed. It's cool for them to smoke. The reason Kim Jong-un looks like absolute crap, number one, he has a full buffet of cheese. He loves cheese. He loves the expensive cheese, too. It's not like your normal, Swiss. You have Swiss cheese. You have your very expensive cheeses. You have these Swiss cheeses, but he goes for like this super imported cheese, which will just absolutely give you a heart attack. And they love cigarettes. Okay, who's been known to down 5-10 packs of cigarettes in a
Did you read I sent you over an article today. Did you read it when Dennis Rodman came over to North Korea?
Oh yeah, glutton. I mean, just an absolute, just a
dinner,
man whore.
Dinner, vodka, karaoke's, and as Kim Jong-un put it, hotties.
Imagine the difference between the penis of Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
I mean, it must be the difference between a worm and a king cobra. But anyway, cheese kills. Swiss cheese, actually, and the cheese that he eats is called Emmental cheese, okay? Which is automatic.
You've done research on this, right?
Oh my God, I'm infatuated with the guy because he didn't disappear because he was sick or he was getting surgery. He was disappeared because he smokes like 32 packs of cigarettes every day. Okay. On top of all that, he loves sushi. Okay, not just sushi, not just your normal everyday sushi that can be sitting around in like 47-degree temperatures. He has to have the freshest sushi made with toro. You know what toro is? No. Toro is the fattiest part of the tuna. You ever seen the tuna that tuna show where they're fishing for the tuna? They go out and it's tuna.com. Anyway, well, when they pull that fish, they can measure how much that fish is worth by pulling out the fat. Un only eats the fattiest part of the tuna, which is actually called toro. Here's another thing. You know what else he eats, which is absolute barbaric. The Asians love shark fin soup. Okay, so shark fin soup, which sharks are going extinct because of this. Okay, but Un has more than enough shark fin soup, and it's supposed to enhance your sexuality. It's supposed to be the Viagra of soups, if you will, in Asia and in North Korea. So Un is constantly eating this, only to realize it didn't work. He's got limpy limp. So that doesn't have. Although I'm thinking the Russian vodka that he gets. This is another part of his diet. The Russian vodka, which is only the top vodka on the planet. Okay, but again, it's probably the only vodka he can get because Russia's the only one that will deal with them without getting sanctioned.
So,
okay,
are you trying to say that the only missiles that he's been exposed to are the ones that he's allegedly testing out, and trying to scare the United States with
his 1-inch missile? Yeah, but he should be indulging in lots of blue pills, but he's not. He also loves Cristal. Okay, when you see him, if you ever seen him like live, he's always sweaty, which means he's also caught up in a lot of drugs, in my opinion. So we're talking about whether it be I'm not gonna speculate on the drugs he's taking, whether it be pills, whatever. But he's good for 2 bottles of Cristal, okay, per sitting, which is 1,200 calories per bottle.
You think he's getting loaded every night?
No, not just loaded, like to the point of disrepair. So now that he's only like 40 years old, he's basically dying.
So you say he's dying. I mean, the rumors that he's dead. Do you think he's dead or what?
No, he's not dead. No, he's alive. He's alive, but only because the Chinese saved him. They went in and they saved him. But he's also been known to Bordeaux wine, which is like one of the most exquisite wines on the planet. 10 bottles in a night. And I didn't. And on top of it, now we talked about the snake wine. He drinks wine out of a bottle that's stuffed with a dead cobra. Okay, that's supposed to enhance your sexual stamina. Okay, and then we talked about how I'm sure him and Un and Dennis Rodman were loading up on the snake wine, and having a good time with those 14 girls. I hope they were over 14 years old. That man is a monster.
Is this stuff available? Is this stuff available on Amazon? And has any of it come into the Foley household?
Let me tell you something. I have a lot of information. I have a group of individuals that collects information, and not too many people get it. Because how many people know Kim Jong-un eats Emmental cheese? Come on, and that caused him gout. You watch him limp. You see him limping. He's got gout. I mean, yeah. You know why? Cheese, sushi from Toro, which is totally fat. He smokes cigarettes. He lays one after the other. You ever seen him? He can't stop, and that's not even to mention. We don't even know what drugs he's taking.
And we haven't
cocaine, meth, crack.
We haven't even mentioned that bad haircut yet either. He's got rocking on. So I mean,
no, I think he cuts his own hair after he's eating all that cheese and smoking all that stuff.
Probably.
So, and the shark fin soup makes you do wacky stuff.
Can you imagine if he came college in America? What he'd be like?
He would fit right in. He'd fit right in.
He'd be like Blutarsky from Animal House.
He would actually be, in a lot of terms, he would be moderate at some of these colleges. But yeah, there it is. There's Kim Jong-un's diet, and that's why he's going to die soon. And the fact that he went away, he didn't go away because he was sick. He went away because he was scared to death that whatever he smoked, whatever he's put in his lungs, whether it be the 42,000 Marlboros, because I know he's getting either bad cigarettes from like Vietnam or China or somewhere, or Japan, but he's not getting Marlboros or Camels, which are bad enough as they is. But he's smoking horrible things. His teeth are rotten. He's fat. He's always sweating. He'll be dead soon.
He loves.
But his sister's definitely hot.
Does he look like the type of guy the guy loves basketball? Believe it or not, does he look like a guy that you would see an NBA game sitting heckling players in the third row?
Not in this country, but did you see the movie, The Interview?
No.
Oh, you got to see the movie. He's dunking basketballs. It's one of the funniest movies ever. He actually had it pulled. But, oh, yeah, I recommend The Interview to anybody out there. It's a Rogan and Franco movie. And off the wall, man. One of the funniest movies ever. Really underrated. But it got taken off the shelves because Un got it taken down.
Well, Glenn, I want to switch topics here. I know we've only been doing this, few weeks now, and I think we've set a trend. You may not know this. We were openly talking about betting on table tennis slash ping pong for the last couple of weeks. And it's come to my attention that one of the biggest, if not the biggest sports book in the world, William Hill, is now accepting up to $100,000 a day bets on table tennis.
I told you. Why is that a surprise to you? I'm like, I tell my buddy, I was telling him during this COVID that if you get into the TVIX, which is it's basically fear. It's a fear factor stock. It's not a stock. It acts like a stock. I told my daughter's actually leading the county in her stock challenge. I can foresee the future. I saw this pandemic coming. I told my daughter to sell all her stocks, to put them into volatility stocks, and she went straight to the top of the county. And when things get crazy, you gotta see it. That's why I actually was one of the first people to hoard. I misread the hoarding of toilet paper, but I had more Lysol. And my kid actually has pre-existing conditions. He has febrile seizures. So what I did was, and the lady asked me, "What are you doing?" When I had 20 bottles of Motrin at the counter at the shop, she's like, "What are you doing with the Motrin?" I said, "Well, there's kind of a pandemic that's going to come." And she's like, "I haven't heard about that." And this was in February or March, and I called my wife downstairs, and she saw my face, and she said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "We need to go out and get all the cash out of the bank. We need to get all the medicine we can pick up." I misread the run on toilet paper, so we ran out of toilet paper. But I picked up all the Lysol wipes.
That's you see, you're the guy.
Yeah, this was at the end of February, going into March, because I saw the pandemic coming, and I know China's full of shit. And when a pandemic breaks out in Africa, we take care of it. When a pandemic breaks out in China, they try to hide it because they're embarrassed, or they've done it on purpose. So we're trying to figure out which one is which right now.
Well, actually, it's funny. I was gonna bring this up for another show, but do you think there's one or a group of people out there who actually are responsible for this? Okay, so do you think there's definitely specific people at that lab who, I don't know if they have trouble going to sleep at night because of what has happened, but is there, you think, a group of 3, 5, 8 people from that lab that know, holy smokes, we just screwed the whole world up? No.
The problem I have is that the United States has sent millions and millions of dollars to that laboratory.
Yeah.
So the laboratory we should have access to it. The problem is, because we're probably too afraid to handle the viruses that they're handling, and because the people are so oppressed. You're talking about a country where why did they shut down the virus so quick? It's because they told the people, if you go out in the street, we're going to shoot you. You can't do that in the United States. So this virus is going to come back. But the Wuhan laboratory, okay, the security at the place, it was barbaric. So everybody knew it. Once this came, they tried to blame it on a wet market.
Get out of here.
Eating bats and different animals. No. You talk to any virologist, they're going to tell you that this virus is 800 years progressed in 10 years. It's part of the SARS. It's part of another virus that already appeared. So what they're doing in these laboratories is they're enhancing these viruses to try to get out in front of them. All the while, there's no security, especially in Wuhan. Okay, so in Wuhan, if you get if you get scientists that are getting overworked and not paid, and they figure, oh, you know what, I'm gonna contract the virus that just causes havoc. I mean, there's so many different variables, but this virus is not from a wet market. This virus is from a laboratory that was let out. It was not necessarily let out, but what China did, which is insane, is they weaponized it once it did get out. They didn't tell anybody. They let people go to Europe, and then they let people go to the United States, and they stopped. Even worse, they stopped travel inside China, which is a telltale sign. And then they started hoarding all the PVEs, the protective equipment. So do the math. If you could add, the only thing that nobody's saying right now, which I'm going to say right now, is this is World War III, and it started in China. So, if nobody, Trump's not saying that this is a war.
Yeah, no, people have asked him about ramifications. He's not ready to talk about that. Well, I'm sure we got nothing but time to talk about that. I just want to hit a couple quick points real quick. Quick points real quick. Exactly, Mark. A couple quick points.
Exactly.
A couple videos have come out in the last couple weeks. 53-year-old Mike Tyson looking like a 23-year-old Mike Tyson. And before my man Lee Groves again asked another great question. He says, Glenn, you're a little bit younger than Tyson, but you competed at a high level athletically. The NFL's at a high level, Glenn. Can you talk about how severe a challenge it would be for him to restart his career at that age after so many years away from the athlete's perspective? How big of a mountain is it?
Depends on the competition. I watched the competition there, and then I watched Mike work out. Now, we only saw 20 or 30 seconds. Now, that's not 12 3-minute, was it 3-minute rounds or two? You would know it. 3-minute rounds?
3-minute rounds.
When you get to round 10 from, Tyson Fury just throwing 10-foot jabs at you, it doesn't look like that.
Well, here's the thing. So, I know you're not a boxing guy, so I'm going to end this conversation right now because I don't even want to talk about it. He even when he was Mike Tyson, he was a good, he was dynamite for 4 or 5 rounds. And that was at age 23, 33. He basically quit against Danny Williams. He basically quit against Kevin McBride. I don't want to hear. If he wants to do a couple exhibitions, maybe him in Holyfield, with some headgear on, maybe to raise some money for what's going on, I'm all for that. Anyone who thinks that he's going to compete in the heavyweight division, they're absolutely insane.
My only point to that question to that is, okay, why wouldn't he? Who's going to beat? No, nobody's going to. There's nobody out there in the heavyweight division that's going to beat. That's going to kick his ass. Sure he can lose a fight.
Glenn, I'll name you 30 guys who would knock him out right now.
Okay, but my point being, only because the formula's been out there. Stiff jab, you just jab from a distance, and then. But guess what? If Mike gets motivated. Oh, by the way, Mike's been studying. Mike's not immature anymore. He's not living in abuse. 17
years or 16 years.
Yeah, but you remember how good Foreman was?
Yeah, but Foreman retired. When Foreman retired, he wasn't beat up. He wasn't quitting. He wasn't quitting.
My point is, I'm not saying Tyson physically is anywhere near what he used to be, but You don't disregard watching all the fights over the years and how guys like when you saw George Foreman start throwing the cross, he used to throw the X up at you when you tried to punch him, and it worked. So there's knowledge that goes. You get wisdom. Okay, Mike, you ever seen some of the videos along the past couple of years where Tyson's talking to some of the younger boxers about how to do this, how to do that, what the things. So I'm not counting Mike out, especially after watching him.
Well, anyway, Lee just pointed out Foreman came out back at 38, not at 53. You probably could have, if your body wasn't so banged up, an NFL quarterback could probably come back after 3-4 years off at 37, 38 years old.
My opinion and all the boxers.
I don't see Warren Moon trotting out there. You know what I mean?
No. It's different. But Warren Moon couldn't throw a punch like I just saw Mike Tyson do at 53. So my point being, okay, we know who did we just watch? Tyson Fury, and who's the other guy? Wilder. Okay, what I just saw out of Mike Tyson. If he lays 30 seconds of that on any one of those guys, they're going down.
He ain't now, close to him.
You're gonna need a machinist. You're gonna need a Evander Holyfield to understand boxing. You're gonna need somebody to run it. But hey, let me tell you something. A 53-year-old Mike Tyson is like a 30. We're talking about Tom Brady. He's a 42-year-old Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he was such a mutant.
Who hasn't spent 17 years away from the game.
But man, you know what? And remember how raw Tyson was up until he lost to Holyfield? Imagine about giving him some knowledge. Give the guy some knowledge. Have him actually study and learn the boxing game instead of just going out there and trying to huckle-muckle somebody with one punch. I think Mike Tyson will be the next heavyweight champion of the world. Mark my words. And when that happens, it will be the Glenn Foley show, not the Marc Abrams show.
I just want to get to one last topic before we have to go. Yeah, in fact, you brought this story to my attention. A guy named Dave Portnoy, is that his last name? The guy who runs Barstool.
Portnoy. Oh, Portnoy, yeah. Oh, my God,
Barstool. He runs Barstool Sports, and this is a site and show that's been extremely critical of Roger Goodell. If someone remembers.
Real quick, before you, this Barstool is great. It's everything that I believe that social media should be.
Okay.
It's hot chicks. You gotta get your food ready.
My dinner's almost ready, but here's why I just want to do a quick backup of the story. So if people remember a few years ago, they made the T-shirts, with the big clown nose on Goodell and whatnot. So they just had some kind of auction, I guess, to raise money for the COVID, I guess, Glenn. You know more about this.
Yeah, for the first responders.
So Portnoy wins the bid at $250,000 to win a night hanging out down the now famous basement of Roger Goodell, because that's where he did the NFL draft from, to hang out, I guess, drink some beers and watch some Monday Night Football. So I don't think this thing's going to come off.
Oh, there's no way Goodell's letting it happen. The biggest, I've always said this, and I was a scrub. I was the worst quarterback in the history of quarterbacks.
No,
okay, I was horrible. I was horrible at every level. Okay, but here's the irony of Roger Goodell. Okay,
you weren't even the worst Jet. How about that?
Whatever. Okay, wait. $50-60 million this guy makes to do what?
Nothing.
To service the billionaires.
Yes, okay? He's hired by the owners.
To calm the billionaires from just fucking up the perfect sport. Okay. The football is absolutely we could be in COVID-19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and football is going to exist. Somehow we will be watching pro football, okay, and it will be making money. Okay, Roger Goodell gets a check for $50 million a year. He's a member at Pine Valley Country Club, okay? And what the most ironic part of his entire job is when he comes out and on the first day of the draft, the first player of the draft is, who was it this year? It was
Joe Burrow. And he gives him a big hug. And in my opinion, he's hugging him, and in the back, and I know we're doing a family show, but he's really sticking his thumb up his butt, because it's insane how much he's against the players. Roger Goodell is the devil. And this is why I can't wait to see Portnoy go against Goodell. Goodell won't let it happen, because the fact that they suspended Tom Brady for not having enough air in the football is the most ridiculous fucking thing I ever heard in my life. So to suspend him for that is insane. I cannot wait for Portnoy. They're not going to let him go, but if they do let him go, it's going to be the greatest TV ever, because he's going to sit there in the guy's basement and completely ruin him for as long as they let him ruin him. But if I know Goodell, he's a spoiled little bitch, and he's not going to be able to handle Portnoy for more than like 15 minutes before they kick him out. Imagine getting a check for $100 million to do nothing but just represent people, to tell you what to say. Yep.
It's the greatest job ever. By the way, he's a member of Pine Valley, the greatest golf course on the planet.
You've said that, I think, on every one of our shows. I think that's why you don't like him. All right, well.
No, I love him because of that.
Well, we hit on a few topics. We're going to probably delve more into that the next time. And, Glenn, you got any final thoughts out there Thursday night here? I guess it's about day 146 of the shutdown, and, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm starting a little hostile, obviously. We get a little crazy with the talk, but a lot of things will start happening. The country's opening back up. We're starting to see the stock market bounce and bop a little bit. So I'm looking forward to the baseball making a decision. Basketball's going to make a decision. Football's going to make a decision. And we'll be back. We'll be back in no time. And the show's getting better and better. As long as if we're technologically sound, we're going to be top of the row.
We're there. Okay, guys. Glenn, you want to sign out?
Peace out, brothers, my brothers, and all my brothers, and my sisters too. Today, I'm gonna peace out to my sisters too.